Welcome to video 2 in the Taylor Swift series. Welcome back, and if you made it this far, well done. I'm going to start off with a chain of 106, just like we did before with the back panel. And in today's video, we're going to be making the front panel. So we're going to chain 106. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we have our chain of 106, and I'm going to then go into the 7th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and do our first granny stitch. And then 2 more in the same stitch. 2 and 3, chain 1, skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then in the 4th stitch we're going to do that again. You should be familiar with this now, but the only difference with row 1 is we're going in a single stitch rather than the space. We're going to carry on with this, and then we're going to do rows 1 and 2. So remember how you do this: chain, skip 3, and then you go into the 4th. All right, and then when you get to the end, you just want to do 1 double crochet at the end, and then you're going to carry on and do row 2 just as you did before. And I'll meet you when we get to the end of row 2. All right, so rows 3 to 6 now, and the orange rows are going to be exactly the same as they were in the back panel. I'm going to change yarn, weave this in, and then I'll meet you back here when you've done all of your orange rows, exactly the same as you did before. And then we're going to change things up a bit because we're going to start on the neckline. I'll meet you back here in a minute. At the end of row 6, we are going to do the whole row. We're not going to weave in anything. We're not going to join yet. So we're just going to weave in that end, completely go all the way to the end and weave in. All right, so we fastened off the ends and weaved them in. Now we're going to turn our work, and we're going to grab the brown and get the brown involved. Because this is starting the neckline, we want it to be a little bit lower, so we're going to start in the space instead of starting from the end. So I'm going to grab my brown, just like that, pull it through, and then I'm going to start a chain of 3, and I'm going to weave in this end. You can make a knot if you like, or just do it the way I'm doing it. So that's 1, 2 and 3. So that's going to be the start of your first granny stitch in this row, and we're going to do then 2 more double crochets in this space. So that's 1 and 2, and then obviously we need to weave that in, but the rest is just exactly the same. So we're going to just do our granny stitches as we did before in all the spaces along, and I'll meet you when we get to the end of row 7. End of row 7 going on to row 8, we're going to chain 3 with the cream, turn our work, and then we're going to work 2 double crochets into the space, and then granny stitch all the way across after you've done your chain. So we're going to chain 1, granny stitch all the way across here, and then I'll meet you at the top here. All right, we're at the end of row 8, and we're just going to fasten off just as we did for row 7. So it should now kind of look like steps going down. Now we're going to turn and join the brown again into that space as we did before. Join the brown and then chain 3. Double crochet 2 into that same space, and then we are going to do exactly the same as we did before, where we're going to chain 1 and granny stitch all the way down to the bottom, and then you're going to join the cream again. End of row 9, we're going to switch to the cream, chain 3, turn our work, and then exactly the same all the way along. We're going to do granny stitches until we get to this space here, and we're going to do 1 granny stitch and fasten off like we have done here. We need to weave in a couple of ends as well. We are at the end of row 10 and we're going to be joining the brown. So drop that white, ring in the brown, and then we are going to do a whole row after chaining 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. This one we can fasten off. Once we've fastened off this cream and then we've done our chain of 4, we're going to turn. And then we're going to go into the space. Again, doing our granny stitches all the way to the bottom. And when you've gone all the way to the bottom here, this is the end of panel 1. So it's like you did on the back, it's the first of the 3 panels that we're doing with the repeating pattern. And this is the end of panel 1. And now you'll be pleased to hear that panel 2, the middle panel, is just going to be exactly the same all the way across. So just like you did on the back panel, we're now going to, in the next row, start with the purple again and do a complete panel from rows 12 to 22. Is going to be all the same. So I'll meet you back here when you've finished your middle panel. And to give you some idea of what it might look like, I have taken the liberty of doing some little stickers on this back section that I've got. So this is the back panel, and so it's just like the back panel but with a neckline. All right, so this is the end. This is where the neckline is that I've marked out. These little stickers. So I've done that. I've done this all the way down to here, and then we're just going to go all the way across, and then we're going to add the purple and the orange for the next panel, and then we can start increasing to make the other side of the neckline. So I'll meet you back here when you've done the brown. So we're going to do this chunk of section exactly the same as before, all the way across, and I'll meet you when we start our purple in the next section, just to check in. Okay? Apologise guys, I've gone a couple of rows ahead without realising. So we've done our rows 12 to 22, which is this middle panel here. So if we take it in 3 chunks, we've got 1, 2, which you've just done, row 12 to 22. And then we are going to start on the 3rd panel, but it's literally just what you've been doing, but with the reintroducing the purple and the orange. So rows 23 and 24 are purple, and rows 25 and 26 are orange, and they're just exactly the same, rinse and repeat. And then the middle part of the orange is where we're going to increase again. So I'll meet you back when you've done 2 rows of purple and 2 rows of orange, and then we can start our increase. So row 27 is where we're going to start the increase. So keeping the orange on our hook, we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and turn. And then in the 4th chain from the hook, we're going to double crochet 2. So right in that 4th chain, do 2 double crochets, and that's going to make it look like a granny stitch going up, because this little chain counts as 1 stitch. All right, and then all we're going to do is do our chain 1 again, and then carry on doing granny stitches like we normally would in all the spaces along. So just like this, and then that's going to kind of make it, the neckline, go up, because we've added another little granny stitch here at the top. That's all you need to do for this row. So you're going to go down the spaces like normal, and then when you come up with the orange, I'll show you what to do when you get to the neckline again. All right, the end of row 28, we're going to finish off with the orange, and I've done a double crochet in the top here. We're going to just do 2 more double crochets in the top of this stitch. Then you can switch to the brown. Excellent. So with the brown, we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn our work, and then we're going to make another stitch. So we're going to, in the 4th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to do 2 double crochets. 1, and 2. Okay, so we essentially made another granny stitch here, and going back on ourselves, we're going to now granny stitch all the way down, swap to the cream, and then come back up, and I'll show you what to do when you get to the top with the cream. Right, we've reached the end of row 30 and we have our cream on our hook. We're just going to do 3 double crochets in this end stitch here, as we did before at the top. So that's 1, 2, 3. I need to weave in the ends there, but that's all good. So we're just going to match it up with the back. Oh my gosh, so exciting. So I've just paired this up with the back, and we have reached the top again. So all you need to do is, that was the hardest bit over. It's over. Well done, you. All we're going to do is this panel again to finish it off. Okay, so exactly as you did with the back, it's going to be the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next 5 rows are going to be switch to brown, switch to cream, switch to brown, and then 2 rows of purple. I actually need to switch to the brown here. So we now finished our 35 rows, and this is what it should look like. So you've got 2 sides of the neck, and you should have finished on this purple here. Well done if you've got this far, it's amazing. And we're just going to match it up with the back panel. So yeah, you should have 2 pieces of material that look a bit like this. And if one looks a little bit wider than the other, don't worry, it will go back into shape. Well done for getting this far, and the next video is going to be sewing around the neckline and the arms. So I'll see you in that video.